How you doing, guys? My name's Don Daly, and I go to Jersey Shore Calvary Chapel. The place that I've seen from my brother Fred here is I've seen Pete and a man named Joe in the different versions that he has, and oh geez, where I've seen him in many different places. I've seen him in my church, Jersey Shore Calvary Chapel. I've seen Laurelton Baptist Church, Shiloh Baptist Church in Manasquan. I really try to follow him and get to his shows as many times as I can, because it's very encouraging to me and I like to encourage him. As far as favorite parts in these productions, it's really hard for me to be able to single out any. Fred has put these together in such a way that his personality and his flair, his talents and humor really, I'm sure, impact everybody in a different way, but they really have impacted my life. I think that these things are a gift for everyone, probably new believers also, because these Bible verses, however well the teacher is teaching them, this adds a whole new flair to hearing these Bible stories, these truths of God. All right, there's a question here. How did these impact my life? This is probably the most important answer for me, and this goes pretty deep for me. There was Fred did a man named Joe, called it various different times. This is the story of Joseph in the Bible, and after I had seen it about the fourth or fifth time, because I'm pretty stubborn, finally it came to me. I've been a Christian about 15 years, and that through all the difficulties that every one of us have in life, all through the difficulties that I had in my life, and Joseph wasn't able to, but he kept praising the Lord in these situations, and he wasn't really able to see the big picture till close to the end of his life, till close to the end of the parade, and he was able to look back and just say, wow, God had his hand on my life the entire time, although I was going through some difficulties, moving me from here to here to here to here to this point to this point. When I had seen that, I went through a whole season of reevaluating my life. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and I said, wow, why did these things happen? And when I had a trial in my life, I decided to go into the military, and I went into the Coast Guard. It could have been the Marines, so I was saving people as opposed to killing people. And then God moved me to this point in my life, to this point, to this point, to this point in my life where I got hurt, and my life unfolded. I gave myself to the Lord, which was the biggest gift. So I had to go through all these things to get to that point. Which led me to this area, to this church, to this woman, to being able to speak this now. There's a part I really want to be able to, very few people even know this story. I'll try to make it quick here. It was about 3 or 4 years ago. I had what I thought was a dream. Maybe it was a vision. I really don't know. I didn't talk about it because it was kind of strange to me. I had something in the middle of the night which was unlike anything I've ever had in my entire life. It was this vision, dream, whatever, jumped out of the pages at me. And what it was, in my side yard, which is not too far from here, there was a flash of bright light, almost the kind of light you hear described in Revelation, where you can't really see, but you know it's the Lord. And it was Jesus on a white horse. And I saw that, and there was this overwhelming, while I was sleeping, I guess, Paul says, in the body or out, I do not know, so I don't know. There was this feeling of complete peace. That's all I know how to describe it. And then the dream flashed to, on my street, I was floating up into heaven, and I was able to look all over Bricktown, and everything was completely calm. I was able to look all over Bricktown for miles and miles and miles in every direction, and there was just thousands of people floating up into the air. So that was, and then I woke up. So that was a strange enough dream, but that wasn't the end of it. So I just let that go. I just said, wow. When I woke up, I had a feeling like I'd never had before in my life of perfectness. I don't know. So time went on. I didn't really tell people about it because they would have thought I was crazy. And there was a time in a play that it was in Manasquan Baptist Church, and he was bringing the whole story of that particular play, I think it was Joseph, together with his music, and at the end he left the organ and he came out into the audience and he knelt down and he stood up and raised his hands, and at that time I heard distinctly in my mind, "You will see this." And I knew what God was talking about was that dream. And these are powerful plays, I'm sure for everybody in different ways. That's it. How do I think that this performance would benefit another congregation or another group of people? First of all, it's going to benefit anyone, especially at a church, at any group. It's also going to be an outing, especially for maybe people who are really seeking the Lord. It's going to be an outing. A lot of people, I really don't want to go to church, and I just tell my buddies, I say, come on, bro, there's a man giving a one-man play here. Where do you see this? You're going to have fun. You're going to have some food. You're going to have some laughs. And I don't even tell him what he's going to learn, but these plays, what a blessing they are to me, because I'm dense, and it really, any one of these things, Pete, Joseph, I've read these verses, but they were dry, and these things brought them to life. I'm an artist, so I'm a visual person. I need to see visual things. Many times over the years when I've been reading the Bible, or when I try to share with others, I try to tell them the backstory. I say, okay, in Romans or in Exodus or something like this, you got to understand the picture here. Try to make a mind picture of this. They're in the desert. It's dirty. It's dusty. It's harsh. The nights are cold. There's no water. So these plays really put these things, lay them out so a way that that others could see them. I mean, these would be impacted for anyone, for kids. Kids love them. Prisons, any place. There's not a place that I'm wanting to invite these guys over to the homeless camp. But I'm thinking, well, it'll be a pain in the neck for them, but it'll lay out these stories to people who really need it in a way that they haven't been able to understand the Bible. All right, as far as being able to encourage another pastor, community leader, group leader to bring these programs into their home, that would probably just be pretty easy for me. I would just use my personality and my passion for Fred's work, and I would just, God says He's going to give us the words when we need the words anyway. So even He's done that now, So I really need to say something before we go here about again. I've been a Christian maybe 15 years or something like that. And I wasn't able to view these things in the beginning, but later on, as in the story of Joe, I was able to look back over my life and see how gently God was with me. and I'm sure he is with everyone else. We go through this journey of accepting Christ, and first of all, we want to learn everything all at the same time. God doesn't want us to do that. He wants to take us through gently. But with me, he was able to place people in my life in strategic times that I could relate to. There have been people in my life that have really truly made an impact on my walk with the Lord for a couple different reasons. First of all, they're people I could relate to. They had a sense of humor. They had a big personality. They were sinners. They've had rocky pasts. They were able to see past that. Only a handful of people. Fred was one of them. When I first got to know him, it was at a singles Bible study, and somebody invited me to. I just happened to be single at the time, and I started watching him, his talents with the music, with trying to act the part, trying to speak in language that, as a new Christian, that I could relate to. And every time I would leave here, I just wanted to go home and learn.